Hi YouTube, welcome to part 1 of my psychic reading on Joe Rogan. Thank you for listening and watching. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Lamarr Townsend. I'm a psychic and energy channeler, a tarot reader, and an astrologer. I am available for personal readings. Right now my books are all clear. I have done all my readings that are due for clients. So if you get your reading now, you most likely will get it the same day. Phone readings get top priority, so if you get a phone reading, you'll get that the same day definitely. Or any other reading within the same day or within 2 to 3 days. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. This is my website, by the way, if you want a reading, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. All right, check out my Twitch where I do monthly horoscope readings. I also did yearly readings for all the zodiac signs on YouTube, so check that out. I also do a lot of content on Patreon, so become a member there. And check out my podcast on Spotify, Apple, Google, Anchor, and more. How ironic. Spotify. But anyways, also you can scroll down and view reviews from people who have verified purchase readings from me. And then while you're at it, go ahead and down here and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. If you would like a reading, you would go directly to the store section of my website, and this is where you can view all the rates, services, and products that I do offer. Alright, and I do a lot. I do birth chart readings, I do psychic tarot readings, I do candles. Alright, I do compatibility birth chart readings. If you want to compare your natal chart to someone else's, I make jewelry. I do mediumship readings if you want to connect to your ancestors, spirit guides, and angels. I do past life readings. I do psychic tarot readings, phone psychic tarot readings, email psychic tarot readings, video recorded psychic tarot readings. I also do teach tarot classes. Like I said, I do candles and so much more. So if you would be interested in any of these things, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. I also sew a lot of things as well, like washcloths and stuff like that. Alright. So let's go ahead and get into it. Part 1 will be specifically just about Joe Rogan. Part 2, we will focus on Spotify. If you want to see Part 2, become a member of my YouTube channel by hitting the join button, wherever the join button is. And let's get into it. If you don't know, Joe Rogan's in hot water. He is a podcaster on Spotify. The biggest podcaster. Thank you for cleansing and clearing the energy of this dark community past reading. Amen, amen, amen. He's in trouble for using the N-word, for allegedly spreading misinformation about the virus. So let's just see what's in store for Joe Rogan. Make sure you guys like the video, share, subscribe, follow. What's coming up for Joe Rogan after this Spotify podcast fiasco? What's coming up for Joe Rogan after this Spotify podcast fiasco? The first card I get is the Death card for Joe Rogan. This deals with his self-image. This definitely deals with how others see him. This also deals with his physical appearance. So are we going to start to see him age a bit or age a bit more? I'm not sure how he looks. This could be an old picture. I'm not really a big fan of Joe Rogan or his podcast. But this definitely would be him potentially losing sponsorship, losing deals as well. All right. So he is going to go through a transformation where with the Death card definitely, deals with loss, endings, transformation, new beginnings, all right? This could take place over the span of a week's time, a month, or up to a year. Or this could specifically be March, April, all right? In his placement of money and finances, I get the 8 of Wands. So I think even though there are probably some endings coming in terms of his sponsorships and people that want to work with him, there are people that are still giving him offers. I think before I did this reading, while I was getting ready for the day, brushing my teeth, blah, 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 opening the blinds, right? I was looking, I saw something about he got a deal from Rumble, which is interesting because Rumble isn't very well known, alright? So that's quite interesting. In his placement of thoughts, communication, in the mind, I get the 4 of Swords. I think Joe doesn't really know the depth of how many people he's peeved off or pissed off. I think there's something where people he thought was on his team, he thought was on his side, he thought he was friendly with. There's like a turning point. There's a lack of trust factor that shows up, particularly with communication. I don't know why I'm also seeing a letter being sent to him or something like that. Um, like there's definitely something where he has support, but then he's lost a lot of support, I feel as well. The Four of Swords, four in numerology does deal with friends, acquaintances, social groups, the internet, social media, technology. I think he needs to be a bit more well informed. I think Joe Rogan is someone that comes from his own perspective as maybe a man, a white man, or whatever race he is. He looks, white Caucasian, but he also looks a little, maybe mixed with something. I'm not sure. I don't really care, to be honest with you. But I do feel like there's something where he needs to be a bit more well informed, and I feel like well informed in the sense of, you can tend to be more well informed when you have friends of all races, of all creeds, of all backgrounds of life. And I'm wondering, does Joe really have that? I know in that industry, in the industry, you can be friendly, right? But friends is a different territory, right? I do get the lover showing up in his placement of emotions, the family and home. All right, so I think Spotify is going to keep him as long as they can. I think if and when maybe he does leave Spotify or they part ways, I think he moves on to something else. All right. Will that something else be as successful as his home of Spotify? Time will tell. I definitely think he won't be able to be as liberal with his true opinions, thoughts, feelings, jokes, and things of that nature as he was on Spotify. I get the Four of Pentacles showing up in his placement of creativity, self-expression, romance. I think he has money, so I don't think, any losses are going to hit him that hard. But it may start to hit hard a little bit, 5 months into the year, 5 weeks into the year. This could be around July, August. All right. I get the World card showing up in his placement of job, career, daily routine, work, and health. So I think he can also transition into other things. I don't know why I get traveling, relocating. So I don't know where he lives. If he lives in the United States, or would he, move elsewhere? Would he relocate? I would say definitely, if you are a watcher of his podcast, don't be surprised if you see like a location, a move of a location in some way, shape, or form. I feel like this is an attempt to change up the format, change up the platform. Maybe if we change up the scenery, they'll see that we're on a different vibe, a different groove. Because I think, isn't his podcast, it's a podcast, but there's a video version, I think, right? Or that's what I'm seeing here. I get the Seven of Pentacles showing up in his relationships, one-on-one relationships, business partnerships. It's interesting, his guest. His guest on his podcast, the guest that he connects with. I feel like there's deeper hidden purposes to it. Like it's kind of the energy of having a lot of guests who are politicians, But maybe even going a little bit further, having a lot of guests who are politicians, maybe who are specifically Republican or Democratic or this or that, or who, support this type of thing. So I would pay attention to his guests moving forward, but in general, all right? Who are his guests that come on the show, and what are their beliefs? What do they support? Okay, and moving forward after this whole debacle of his Spotify, who's going to continue to go on the show and support him in his podcast? I think there's, some maybe allegedly hidden motives there. I'm not getting horrible cards so far for Joe, except for the first card I pulled. I get the Star card showing up in the placement of change, transformation, and evolution and endings. I think in the end, I think, Joe could come out. Um, I don't want to say positively, but he could come out in a way that reflects like I've changed. I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm getting better. Please forgive me, kind of thing, right? But it feels like a show. I get the Ten of Pentacles. So I don't think Joe's going to want for any money. But I do see something about relocating or traveling. So once again, I don't know if the show is going to relocate, or if he gets an offer that would cause him to relocate or something like that. And I don't know why I'm literally seeing him podcasting from, like, it looks like Hawaii or something like that. Spirit is showing me. Like, almost like, get maybe Spotify or whoever's like, go on a vacation, if you want a podcast from your vacation spot, podcast there, it's like that kind of thing. But I feel like there is a changing of the format of the podcast. I get the Two of Cups, so I mean, this definitely could be him and his relationship with Spotify. This definitely could be him and his relationship with some entity, person, place, thing that is helpful to his career, definitely. That is, it's like we need each other. It's emerging, alright? I don't know his zodiac sign. I get the King of Wands. This is an Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, or an Aquarius man, or someone with masculine energy. Shows up connected to friends, acquaintances, social groups, social media, the internet, technology. I'm wondering if does he have a co-host? I'm wondering if he would get a co-host, or if there's something that would happen with the co-host. Maybe, if so, 11 weeks from now, 11 months from now. This would also be 11 weeks from now, 11 months from now. The last card I get for you, Joe Rogan, is the Three of Swords. So even though things may seem like they're going well, I think some new format may come around. Like, maybe once again you change up the scenery. Maybe you do change up the content a bit. But I don't know if it's going to work. It may work for a little while, but inevitably I think there's going to be something else that comes around. Some other things that come around. So it could be 3 major scandals. I don't know if you've already had, 2 strikes, 1 strike. We'll have to see, but this will take place over the span of 12 weeks, 12 months. This definitely could be as early as Pisces season. March, April, February, March, April, which we're in this season now. All right. So, Joe, that's what I see for you. The Three of Swords can also be some sort of betrayal, secrets coming out. That further may not shed a good light on you in the public eye. Alright? So, I would be, careful of anyone that may have secrets about you, may have, other recordings, or I don't know why I get something about DV. Allegedly, this could be wrong, or something with like a woman, like almost like, and I'm not saying he's that type of person, but I'm just picking up this energy where it's almost like I get a woman being like, oh, I dated him for a little while and this is how he was with me, kind of thing. So I'm also wondering, if you have a co-host, what is really the connection with you and the co-host? Are you actually good friends, or what's going on with that? So, Joe, I hope you've been nice to people, because if not, I think it's going to come back to bite you in the booty. And I'm not just talking about you saying the the N-word over and over, and stuff like that. I think there's personal, maybe allegedly vendettas people may have against you, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get into part 2, where we'll be focusing specifically on Spotify. Thank you for listening and watching. I'm Lamarr Townsend. Remember, I'm available for readings. Get your reading today. Phone readings have top priority, but I also do birth chart readings, mediumship readings, past life readings, and so much more. Love and light. Good luck, Joe. And until the next one, God bless. I'll see you in part 2.